presenting the current events for UPSC, KPSC prelims cum mains. If you want any information or queries, you can contact the given number or log in to our website, that is navodayafoundation.in. In this video, we are going to discuss about a current issue regarding G7 summit. We have a GS paper 2 under which we have a topic, so that is global grouping. So G7 comes under that. So regarding this current issue, so in this video we are going to discuss why this G7 summit is in news. As we all know, this G7 summit meetings will be held every year. So these G7 meetings are being held. But this year, USA President, so that is Donald Trump, he has postponed this 46th G7 summit, which was to be held in this June 2020 at Camp David, USA. So Camp David is a place. And he has also proposed he has also kept some of the proposals, that is the expansion of G7, which has to be called G10 or G11 by including some of the countries, by including 4 countries. We'll later on see so which are those countries. So now when I speak G7, so it is group of 7. So that is, it includes 7 countries. So Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK and US. So totally there are 7 member countries. So here it was first formed in 1975. So that is the first meeting. It consists of only 6 in 1975. So these statistics are very important. So 40% of global GDP is contributed by these G7 countries. And also 1/10 of the world's population, so they are present in this G7 countries. In 2014, Russia was suspended. So this we'll see, check it later. So first, before moving to anything, so let's know about G7. So what is this G7? G7, it is nothing but it's a group of 7 countries, which includes Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom and United States of America. Since it contains 7 countries, so it is called as G7, where G stands for group. So here this G7, it's an international organization which was formed in 1975. So it is an informal forum to discuss the world issues. So forum, it is nothing but a platform. So initially, so this G7, it used to discuss only regarding economic issues, that is only regarding financial issues. But later on, it started discussing the world issues, which includes terrorism, arms control, drug trafficking, human trafficking and many more issues. Not only economical, but also it covered each and every dimensions. This is most important. This G7, it doesn't have any fixed headquarter like WHO or any other international organization. There is no fixed headquarter, as well as there is no formal constitution. So there is no particular number of the members which are to be present in the summit and all. So no fixed headquarters and there is no formal constitution. And the most important thing is the decisions which are taken in the G7, they are non-binding. So that is, there is no compulsion that the countries that are present in the G7, they have to obey the decisions given by the G7 countries. That is, the decisions are non-binding. When we speak of the summit, that is meeting, so this is an annual summit. So this G7, it conducts yearly meetings, that is annually. It's not biennial or perennial or 3 months once or 6 months. So that is annually it meets on a rotational basis. That is, if this year Canada takes the presidentship, so next year France is going to conduct. So other next year Germany. Like that is on a rotational basis, it is going to hold the meetings which is presided by the leaders. Leaders in the sense they are the ambassadors. So and also, so these G7 economies, they are the 7th wealthiest and the most, it includes this G, when I speak of G7, this is very important. So it includes 7 advanced economies which stand 7th wealthiest and the most advanced nations in the world. So this is about G7. So I said it includes various issues. It is going to discuss various issues like climate change, terrorism, security threats, so everything. So Here the host country, so that is the country which is going to conduct the annual summit, it not only conducts the presidency but also it sets the agenda, or it also sets the goal for the year. So what it has to do, how the issue is to be resolved. So it is going to conduct like that. And also, so this one is very important. Here G7 includes only 7 countries, but it also can invite the other dignitaries, so that is the dignitaries from outside the G7 countries to attend the summit. So this is very important. Here there is presence of Sherpas. So this word you should know. Sherpas, they are nothing but ambassadors. They are going to represent the particular countries. So they are going to discuss and follow up the meeting. So they are the Sherpas. So that is, they are nothing but the ambassadors who are going to represent their countries, who are going to discuss the issues, that is ongoing events, what's happening in the world. So what is the world issue? So and also they are going to follow up the meeting. So this is about the Sherpas. Sherpas are going to represent the G7 summit. So this G7 summit, so it also includes dignitaries from other countries which are not included in G7. So as I said, there are so many issues. It not only includes just economical matter, so be it related to environmental, so that is climatic change, biodiversity, related to taxation, science and tech. And also recently it also said that in the 370 abolition of the 370 article on Jammu and Kashmir, it has also supported India by saying that that is completely an internal matter of India, so that is not going to involve or else interfere in this matter. So it not only includes, or else it not only discusses the economical issues, but also it discusses various issues. So that is that is one of the best thing of G7. In 1975, when it conducted its first meeting, it had only 6 nations. Okay, so that is USA, UK, France, Germany, Japan and Italy. So why it is formed means, in 1973, so there was a hike in the price of oil which led to the financial crisis. That is in 1973. Due to this, these 6 advanced countries, they formed a group, so which was called as G7. Later on in 1976, Canada joined. So till now, from 1975 to 2018, it has conducted 44 summits. It has discussed on various issues, as I said, security, foreign, maybe economical, environmental, so everything. So when I speak of G7, it includes 7 countries. When I speak of G8, it includes Russia. So Russia was included in 1998. So but in 2014, so it was suspended. So because it annexed Crimea region of Ukraine. Crimea region of Ukraine was annexed by Russia. So because of this, from G8, this Russia was expelled. So again, so from G8 to from G8, so it became G7 in 2014. So first summit of G7, it was held in Rambouillet region of France. That was in 1975. This is very important. So please note down that. So when we speak of G7 countries, so it has most advanced economic countries. So when we speak of a significance, they are very significant because they are the leading export countries. It has the largest gold reserves. It is the largest nuclear energy producers and the top contributors to the UN budget. This is the significance. This is the significance of G7 countries. So recently, so in 2019, so G7 summit was held in France and it highly focused on fighting inequality. So these are the 5 objectives of the G7 summit 2019. So the first one is fighting inequality, reducing environmental equality, strengthening social dimension of globalization, and the next one is security threats and terrorism. So it has to fight against the terrorism, Naxalism, so totally the internal security or the security threats. So it needs to have peace against all this. And also the most important one is artificial intelligence and digital technology, that is science and tech. So it has to strengthen. So one of the main objective is strengthening the science and tech field related to artificial intelligence and digital technology. So but mainly it focused on fighting inequality in each and every areas, be it social, be it technical, so be it economical. So in each and every dimension, so it just focused on fighting inequality. So G7 summit 2019, it was held in France. So when we speak of India at G7, so last year, so that is in 2019. So as I said, G7 summit of 2019, it was held in Biarritz in France, because the French president, he sent an invitation to the Indian Prime Minister to attend the G7 summit. So as I said, it can invite any countries outside the G7 to attend the summit. So till now, so this you have to keep in mind, till now India attended G8 5 times. I'm not speaking of G7, I'm speaking of G8. India attended G8 5 times. So this number you should know. And so as the French president, he sent the invitation to the India to attend the G7 summit. This MEA, that is Ministry of External Affairs, it referred the invitation as reflection of the personal chemistry between two leaders. Two leaders means that is the French and the France and India, or as the presidents of the particular countries. And also it has gained the recognition of India as a major economic power. So this is about India at G7. So when we speak of key points, so why it's been in news? So why it's a burning issue now? Because the first thing is USA president, he has postponed the G7 summit. So the main reason why he has postponed means, and also he has kept the proposal of expanding this G7 by including 4 countries, that is Russia, India, Australia and South Korea. So when you see these countries, they are emerging economies. Okay, so they are not the stagnant one or the advanced one. So they are emerging. So hence he considers the G7, whatever is there presently, it is the outdated group of countries. So it does not include any emerging economies. So hence, so he wants to expand the G7 to G10 or G11. So to include these emerging economies. And also, but it is unclear whether the decision whatever he has taken, it is permanent or temporary. We don't know. So that's why the decision is not clear. The second thing is re-inclusion of Russia. As I said, in 1997, Russia added G7, but due to the Russia's one small thing, so that is the Russia, it annexed the Crimea region of Ukraine. Russia was expelled from G8. So that is again G8, it became G7. So that's why again he wants Russia to be included in the G7. So to make it G10 or G7, since they are all emerging economies. And the next thing is it wants to unite allies. Allies means that is a groups against China. So here arises a question. So why, China is having a biggest population, and also it is the biggest economy, second biggest economy. But though, so it has got such things, it is not considered as an advanced economy. So because it has low levels of wealth per head of population, or else I can say national income, or else the national per capita of China is less. So hence it is not considered in G7. So these 3 key points you have to know. The proposals, one is expansion of G7, re-inclusion of Russia, and also attempt to unite allies against China. So when we compare G7, and also there is a proposal of expanding it still more further to G20, we have G7 and G20. So in G7 we have these 7 countries, but in G20 we have the other countries also along with the G7. So that is the other countries are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa and South Korea and Turkey. So these are the countries in G7, 7 countries, G20, 20 countries. So when we speak of GDP, so here G7, it constitutes 40% of GDP, but whereas G20, it contributes 80% of GDP. So this is one of the most beneficial point of including the emerging economies into the G7 and making it G20. And one more we can compare. So comparatively in G7, it discusses only a little range of issues, but when I speak of G20, it discusses broad range of issues. There are certain criticism why G7 summit is to be updated. So these are some of the points why it's being criticized. Every year there are thousands of protestations against G7 from every other country. So this is the first point. So next thing, as I said, so G7 it includes only the advanced economies and there is no emerging economies. So hence this G7 it is completely outdated economies, and now it wants to include all the emerging economies into the G7. So this is the second point. And the third criticism is there is a lot of campaign on issues that are important to them. When I speak of 7 countries, each country discusses the matters which is important only to them. It doesn't discusses in the global level. So this is the third point. And the fourth point is there is a wide gap between the haves and not haves. That is what is important and what is not important. There is a wide gap. There is no coordination between the countries' discussion and the actions. That is haves and not haves. This is certain criticism of G7. Hence, it wants to expand it to G10 or G11 and further to G20. So this is certain criticism. And when we speak of the way forwardness or else the what are the benefits or else what are the positive things because of evolving or else because of including the other 4 countries into this G7 countries is the first thing is it extends the support to establish equal levels for each country at global level. So globally, so each country it stands or it gains its own position, it attains representation, it extends the support. So this is the first important thing. And the second thing is so it becomes more representative institutions. As I said, G7 it is an informal forum. So that is there is no particular constitution and it contains only 7 countries. Since many countries are included, so it creates a global platform at global level to raise each country's issues at a national and international level. So hence it becomes still more representative institution. So that's why he has put proposal of expanding G7 summit to G10, G11 and further to G20. So this is about the issue of postponement of G7 summit by the US president. Hope you understood this and you have learnt in this video. Thank you.